Hi guys, in this part, we will show you how to edit or update existing user data by using Laravel Eloquent Model. Under this, Laravel Visitor Management System project. In previous part, we have already seen how to insert or add new user data in this Laravel Visitor Management System. Now for update existing user data, we will do following things. First we will create edit method for load edit sub-user form in the browser. After this, we will create edit sub-user form with display validation error. And after this, we will fill that form fields with user data. Next we will create another method for handle sub-user edit form data. After this, we will set root for the newly created controller method. And lastly, we will check edit sub-user data output in the browser. Here we can see that we have already made edit button at the time of loading of data in jQuery data table. So now we have go to sub-user controller class, and here we have to write public function edit method with $id as argument. Under this method, we have to write $data variable is equal to user class with find or fail method, and under this method, we have to write $id variable. This method will return single user data based on the value of $id variable value, and here data has been stored under $data variable. Now below this, we have to write return statement with view method with two arguments. In first argument, we have to write edit sub-user.blade.php file. And in second argument, we have to write compact function with data as argument. So here, it will load edit sub-user.blade file in the browser, and it will fetch data from this data variable. Now we have to open edit sub-user.blade.php file. And here this file is completely blank. Now we have to open add sub-user.blade.php file. And here, we have copy whole code from this file, and go to edit sub-user.blade.php file. And here, we have to paste this code. Now here, we have to write edit sub-user in place of add sub-user, where we have write add sub-user. Now we have go to form action attribute, and here we have to write edit validation in place of add validation, so this form will send request to edit validation method. Now we want to fill this name field with data, so for this, here we have to write echo blade statement, and after this, we have to write $data with name variable. So this name input field will be filled with name table column data. After this, we want to fill this email input field with data, so here we have to write echo blade statement, and after this, we have to write $data variable with email variable. So this email input field will be filled with user email table column data. Now we want to create one hidden field for store single user id table column data. So for this, here we have to write input type is equal to hidden. And after this, we have to write name attribute is equal to hidden id, and in the value attribute, we have to write blade echo statement with $data variable with id table column name. So here, we have store user id details under this hidden field. After this, here in submit button, we have to write edit in place of edit button. So here our edit sub-user form is ready for edit single user data. Now we have go to sub-user controller class, and here we have to create edit validation method. So for this, here we have to write edit validation function with $request variable as argument. Under this method, first we want to validate form data, so for this, here we have to write $request variable with validate method. This method will validate user data, which we have to define in array format. So in array first key, we have to write form field name like email. And in value, we have to write validation rules, so here we have to write required and email. So after write this validation rule, here this field value must be required, and value must be valid email. After this, in array second key, we have to write form field name. And in the value, we have to write validation rules like required. So here also, this name field value must be required. And after define this validation rules, so if form data has been passed from this validation rules, then only it will execute other code, otherwise it will display validation error on the web page. Now we want to edit or update user data, so here password has been stored in hash format. So for change password detail, here user has to enter password under password input field. And suppose user has not enter password details, then password table column data will not be changed. So for this first we have to store all form data in the local variable. So for this, here we have to write $data variable is equal to $request variable with all method, so it will store form data under this $data variable. And below this, we have to write if statement, and under condition, we have to write not operator with empty function with $data password variable. So suppose user has entered password details, then it will execute if block of code. And under this block, we have to write $form data variable is equal to array. In array first key, we have to write name, and in value, we have to write $data name variable. In array second key, we have to write email, and in value, we have to write $data email variable. And in the last key, we have to write password, and in value, we have to write $data password variable. But suppose user has not entered password details, then it will execute else block of code. And under this block, we have to write $form data variable is equal to array. In array first key, we have to write name, and in value, we have to write $data name variable. In array second key, we have to write email, and in value, we have to write $data email variable. So here we have store form data in the $form data variable in an array format. Now we want to edit or update profile data, so here we have to write user class with whereId method, and under this method, we have to write $data hidden id variable, and after this, we have to write update method. And under this method, we have to write $form data, so this code will update sub-user data in the database. And after updating of user data, here we have to write return statement with redirect method. And under this method, we have to write sub-user, so it will redirect to web page to sub-user controller class index method. And for display success message, here we have to with method with two argument. And in first argument, we have to write success variable name, and in second argument, we have to write message like user data updated, so this method will be display on the web page. So here, user edit or update code is ready. Now we want to set root for this edit or edit validation method. So for this, we have go to web.php file, and under this file, here we have to write root class with get method with two argument, and in first argument, we have to write sub-user /edit/id variable, and in second argument, we have to write sub-user controller class, and edit method, and after this, we have to write name method, and under this method, we have to write edit. So this code will set root for the edit method, and now set root for edit validation method. So for this, here we have to write root class with post method with two argument. So here in first argument, we have to write sub-user /edit validation. And in second argument, we have to write sub-user controller class and edit validation method. After this, we have to write name method, and under this method, we have to write sub-user.edit validation, so it will set root for the edit validation method. So here our code is ready. Now we have to check output in the browser. So here friends, we can see edit button in each of user data. Now for edit this row user data. So here we have to click on edit button, and after click on edit button, here we can see that edit sub-user form has been loaded in the browser with fill user data. Now we want to change sub-user name details, so here change name details. And after change name details, we have to click on the edit button. And after click on the edit button, here user data has been edited, and page has been redirected to list of sub-user page, and on the page, we can see success message, and here also sub-user name details has been changed. Suppose we want to change sub-user password details. So we have to click on edit button, so here edit sub-user form has been loaded in the browser. Now here password field has blank. Now for change password details, we have to enter password here. This is because here password has been stored in hash formatted string, so here we have to enter password. Now we have to click on edit button, and after click on the edit button, here sub-user password details has been edited, and here we can see success message. So in this part, we have to learn how to edit or update existing user data in the Laravel framework under this visitor management system, and in the next part, we will discuss how to delete or remove user data from MySQL table under this Laravel Visitor Management System project. So we will be meet in next part. Thank you for watching this tutorial.